I am on to a new topic this morning. A newly expanded consciousness and awareness. This seems to happen after every event of mental disturbance. The other night I had a mental disturbance where I had to just remove myself from people and input, stimulation, and just try and recalibrate myself. What's going on? It's what happens. That is what happens on live camera, right? Sorting out my hoodies. Yeah. So newly expanded consciousness seems to come in after every event of mental disturbance. That's been the pattern for me. It's like your brain is shifting and rearranging itself to receive a new signal. And today I opened up my Facebook wall with a post commenting about Adyashanti's quote that says something like, if there is a path, it's the one of emptying ourselves of all that we are not, right? And I feel now that while that was a consciousness that worked for a while, I feel like that is becoming an outdated consciousness, an antiquated consciousness. The more we become, shall I say, more complete in our self-awareness. Because for me now, it seems like meditating oneself into the bliss of the void, into nirvana, is in fact a method of spiritual bypassing, right? We're bypassing the density of the body. That's why the yogis would have these mantras of I am not my body, I am not my mind. In more practical terms, this is just an expression of dissociation from suffering, because the density of the body and the mind creates suffering for us. And so meditation, or the art of meditation, the art of spiritually bypassing, became known as elevated spirituality. And really, when you break down the term elevated spirituality, it's elevated spirit that is dissociated from density. The spirit has separated from the body, and we called that spirituality. That is the true definition of spirituality, if you will. Spirituality is all about disembodied consciousness. It's the practice of spirit. It's the practice of disembodiment. But it's not practical for living the human life. It is, in fact, a dissociation, a cutting off of the higher dimension from the lower dimension. And so that's why I feel that, all the sages before, including Jesus, Buddha, and the more modern sages, that consciousness is becoming an outdated consciousness. we're no longer going to continue this dissociation process of where we divide body, mind from soul, or body, mind from spirit. I think we need to let go of the word spirituality, because we really don't want to be, we can't be spiritual in this human experience. Spirituality does not leave room for density, for the body, for physicality. So how do we integrate these dimensions with one another to bring about a more coherent human? Right? So, it may not be expedient to always draw your wisdom from the ancient consciousness, because one can look at it in reverse. Maybe the evolution is not the trying to get out of this body, but to bring spirit into this body, right? It's a complete reversal. So that's the consciousness I'm expanding into now, and it's the result of me integrating what was formerly separate dimensions in me, all the soul fragments that were floating about in my subconscious as orphan children, with all their unpleasant emotions and feelings that we disallowed ourselves previously to feel. And so we escaped into meditation, into the void, into the emptying of the mind, because we did not want to feel these aspects of our fragmented soul. So, consciousness seems to be changing, because I'm not the only one talking this way. I see my friends talking this way. So we're tapping into the same cloud of awareness that is now coming into being. So, again, be careful with looking to the ancient wisdom. Maybe pay attention to the present wisdom that is emerging now to create a more complete human, divine human being, right? So stay present in the now, for the revelations that are coming out now are more beneficial than what was taught in ancient times. In ancient times, it was all about dissolving the body, dissociating from the physical body. This is a concept that's carried over from Gnosticism, that viewed physicality as evil and negative. And this has woven itself through all the spiritual paths of the past. Let's be present. Let's embrace what consciousness is bringing to us today.